Well, today marks the 5th anniversary of Nancy Pelosi's staged day of infamy.
I didn't think that I was just going to be killed. I thought other things were going to happen to me as well.
So what sounds like what you're telling me right now is that you didn't only think that you were going to die, you thought you were going to be raped.
Yeah. I thought I was.
Wasn't in the building. She was across the street in her office, across the street. But she thought she was going to be raped. That's some stretch, if you know what I'm saying. On January 6th, 5 years ago today, Democrats created their own version of a reality, much like AOC did, when she talked about the feeling that she was threatened by events that took place blocks away from where she was actually in her office. Democrats also knew that there was every reason in the world for Americans to question the validity of that election. COVID created new voting rules in this country, some we haven't seen before ever. Joe Biden hardly had seen on the campaign trail from his basement. Remember that? Somehow garnered 81 million votes, far more than his Democrat predecessor, Barack Obama, who had a record of 69 million votes in his first term. The American people left and felt frustrated. They felt suspicious of the election process. Our then 45th president stood at the Capitol and told frustrated Americans that he understood their feelings and told them to protest peacefully.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. Today we will see whether Republicans stand strong for integrity of our elections.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel. But go home and go home in peace.
We have to have peace. The second part of that video is the part they never, ever wanted Americans to see. The call for peace, for being peaceful despite being so very frustrated and angry. They took down President Trump's Twitter before Americans could see that video and never, ever gave him credit with having said it. They never got to see this tweet either, saying, quote, "I'm asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. No violence!" Exclamation mark. But it's important today to remember how the most embarrassing vice president in American history, who lost the presidential election just over a year ago in landslide, actually said this.
Dates that occupy not only a place on our calendars, but a place in our collective memory. December 7th, 1941, September 11th, 2001, and January 6th, 2021.
A year after the January 6th Capitol protest, Kamala Harris stood there and compared the events of that day to Pearl Harbor, the 9/11 attacks, one of her more disgusting moments, and that's saying a lot. Unbelievable. I watched the World Trade Center come down. I watched the planes fly in. 3,000, almost 3,000 New Yorkers died that day, innocent people. This is no 9/11, Kamala Harris. I don't know what they were doing. All right, now on to some people who actually do win elections, even though they shouldn't, like the Democrat Party's rising jihadi star. We're actually starting to think that this guy in New York City doesn't actually understand how anything works. Zohran Mamdani is the mayor of New York City now. It has nothing to do with a FIFA or a World Cup, and yet he's been monitoring the cost of World Cup tickets and will use the full weight of his non-existent influence to get daily briefs on those events, with Letitia James smiling, her creepy little smile, standing right behind him.
What we are seeing, I had a New Yorker the other day come up to me and ask me if there was any way I could help him get World Cup tickets, because he was saying that the cost that he saw for a game was $600, right? This is increasingly out of reach. We have made what used to be a working class game into a luxury experience. And there are too many for whom it doesn't matter where the World Cup is being played in the world, they know where they're going to watch it. It's TV. And we want to ensure that there are more experiences available to each and every New Yorker.
Okay, so no private ownership of property. It's going to be collective. And by the way, if tickets to things that are in high demand are too high, we're going to make sure everyone gets, you nuts, available to all. Dude, that's not how capitalism works. This is so delusional that he would even say any of this, that a community note was posted saying this, I'm quoting, apart from the fact that the mayor has no influence over FIFA pricing policy, there are no games in New York City. The New Jersey Stadium is in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Buddy, it's not even in your state, let alone your city. This is like if the people who did the cleaning and maintenance at the White House came out and did a briefing on foreign policy. He's delusional. In the next installment of Who the Hell Elected This Moron, Seattle's latest socialist mayor, Katie Wilson, has called for no arrests for open drug users, apparently because there's nothing wrong with Seattle, where homelessness and a rampant fentanyl crisis are destroying the city. But Katie somehow has plenty of time to send a message, who? To President Trump.
I had the honor of being noticed by the President of the United States, who called me a very, very liberal / communist mayor. It's nice to feel seen. That's all I'm going to say about that. And earlier this month, we launched our transition team.
Is she out of middle school yet? And in yet another installment of Who the Hell Elected These Morons, the newly re-elected mayor of Lawrence in Massachusetts, Brian DePina, tries and fails to put together a coherent sentence in English.
No matter what you talk, if you don't take the right action for move your community forward. I don't speak perfect English. When I knock in door, never I promise to my constituency. I speak perfect English.
Ben, can you get on voice
Yes,
again?
sir.
What's
Yeah,
a constitution? What's a constitutionant?
I believe he was looking for constituent.
Ah,
I think that's what he was
Thank
going
you.
for.
What the hell was that? I didn't even know language. That wasn't even Spanglish. I have no idea what the hell that was. In the next installment of Who the Hell Elected These Morons, Gavin Newsom, who has once again failed his state by totally mishandling the rebuilding in his state of one of the most catastrophic wildfires in the history of the world, let alone California, made worse by his severe lack of effective governance. Mind you, would rather sit and complain about President Trump than actually admit his mistakes, learn from them, and do the job he's supposed to do.
No other state in America has done more to try to address the issue of climate crisis in the first place. I've 10x'd vegetation and forest management. Donald Trump's cutting those budgets. I've doubled the size of CAL FIRE. This equipment you see behind me, this didn't exist when I got here. 16 of these we've gotten. The largest civilian aerial firefighting fleet in the world. In the world. We've fast-tracked our vegetation forest management, our fuel breaks. We have flooded the zone in terms of support. We flooded the zone with the biggest pre-positioning in California history for these fires. It was on the scene, didn't leave for weeks and weeks. Proud of that. I'm still there having the backs of the folks down there. You're going to find folks, of course, people are out there furious, upset. I get it.
That's fine, Gav. That's fine. So how the hell did a couple $100 billion of property get blown away, got burned up? And how did we lose a couple dozen Californians in those fires? And where the hell was the water? Remember, you couldn't find water and Trump had to find water for you? You're a coastal state. Meanwhile, Gavin Newsom had better batten down the hatches, as they say. Looks like his state is going to be investigated for fraud, and I'm sure they won't find anything because Gavin and his comrades are always nothing but honest. Isn't that right? Meanwhile, clearly we're in an era of correction. The healing will take ages. The trust will never be restored, at least not in our lifetimes. The damage done by the mainstream media, and worse than that, by public broadcasting like NPR, is too much to measure in words. Clear bias, clear BS, I should say, zero reason to trust. And so, without further ado, NPR comes to an end, and deserving and fitting end to one of the most harmful platforms in America.
A stunningly fast end of an era for public media. After nearly 60 years, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting has voted to dissolve itself, forced to take the drastic measure after the Republican-held Congress voted to defund it at the behest of Donald Trump. The private agency has steered federal funding to PBS, NPR, and hundreds of public television and radio stations across the country.
That's what happens. You're funded by the public. You represent everyone. All taxpayers paid your BS salaries, and yet you were wildly leftist, wildly progressive liberal. You served half the country, took money from all of the country. Goodbye. You're done. NPR. Bye-bye. All right, folks, if comfort is your goal, then the edge definitely isn't for you. The edge is about standards, about consequences, about performance, but not just performance under fire. Every week we bring you voices and systems that separate winners from spectators. I don't speak about theory. I speak from scars, battle scars, burns that I've had through these burning arenas, baseball, Wall Street, top cable news. You can keep watching others live boldly, or you can step into the arena yourself, the edge. Take your phone, aim the camera right at that QR code, hit the yellow line, subscribe. Never going to charge you, not selling your information. It's going to stay within our community. 8,150 subscribers in 3.5 months. Top 1/10% of all new YouTube channels. We want you. We're becoming a bigger group, louder voice. It's off to the races. I want you part of it. Eric Bolling, The Edge, YouTube. YouTube.com/Eric Bolling, The Edge. YouTube.com/Eric Bolling, The Edge. Please join us. I appreciate your viewership here. I appreciate your support. And I very, very much appreciate if you hit subscribe right now. We'll be back 2.5 minutes.
That you fight to the cops and military that been fighting day and night, so we could have liberty and our God-given rights. To all the mothers and fathers that's just trying to protect their child, hey, freedom worth dying for, dreams worth fighting for.